You're listening to Tea Time with Crystal. Hello, my beautiful kings and queens. Welcome back to episode 4 of Tea Time with Crystal. I hope everyone is doing okay. So I guess this episode we're gonna call it Pumpkin Spice and Not Everything is Nice. On today's topic, we will be talking a little bit about myself and a little bit of some relationship stuff. If you do not have me on social media, such as Instagram, now would be a good time to go and add me. My username is at ma.rieee09. I do have some polls going on that kind of help me in the direction of where I talk about, like what subjects I talk about in my podcasts. So so the first poll that I actually had going on, it was more of if people wanted to know more about myself and a lot of the tea that I have going on in my life, which isn't that much, or if people wanted a specific topic, and it was a 50-50. So let me just start off actually by saying last week I wasn't able to put out a podcast because I was sick, but I was able to work on my YouTube video. So if you haven't checked it out, go and check it out. You can search up Tea Time with Crystal on YouTube, and the video was out there. Me and my sisters, I went to go feed the homeless for Thanksgiving. It was an amazing experience. A lot of those people touched our hearts, and it was great to do something with my sisters. I'm not even gonna lie, like it was pretty great. But yeah, so I ended up getting sick, and it was not COVID, just to put it out there. I did get tested. I was negative. It's so crazy how like one person finds out you have COVID and then, the entire family is so against you. But that's what it is, I guess. And yeah, so let's see. Yeah, last week I was pretty sick and I couldn't do a podcast. My colds usually start from me having a sore throat, then like I have a runny nose and I'm congested, and then my eyes start like turning red, and it's a whole mess. But I'm thankful that I was able to cut that, and now I'm a bit better. So yeah, let's get into this podcast. So let me just start off by saying some people wanted to know. Well, I actually had a poll going on, and it was either to have a podcast about my tea or to have a podcast about a specific topic, and it was 50-50. So I guess I'm gonna spill some tea with this topic, so that should be fun. So the topic the people have chosen is relationships, and I suppose this is a good topic. So the first poll that I had going on, it was mainly what makes a relationship a good relationship, and I'm just gonna go off of what people said, and I'll make my own comments. So let's see. First one is pretty long. Alright, it says, I feel like a lot of people will say communication, which is true. People did say communication, but and I most definitely agree, but something else I think is compatibility. Yes, you can be a yin to her yang, but you also have to be compatible. And I think it's important to have an open mind about who the other person is and leave her wild. This is true. You do have to keep an open mind of who your partner really is. I feel like a lot of people, when they're trying to get the attention of the person that they're interested in, I feel like a lot of people tend to fake who they are just so that the person that they have a crush on likes them. And this is, even though it shouldn't be normal, it is normal. And then that's when people later down the line start saying like, oh, I miss the person that I fell in love with. But in reality, these people, they're just showing you their true colors, like who they really are. And it's not that, you know, they're changing into somebody else. It's just who they really are is starting to come out because they're tired of faking the person that you fell in love with or whatever. So I mean, my best advice is when trying to be with somebody, allow them to see you for who you are, because you guys are gonna go a year or 2 years and this person is gonna think they fell in love with you one way, and then when your true colors start to come out, they're just gonna complain about how you're not the same person. But in reality, you were the same person. It's just you did everything that you could to get your partner. So let's just be true to ourselves. Well, let's just start there. I do believe in leave your partner wild, and not to say like, you know, make her do crazy things, or him, you know. It's just more of let them be who they are. Let them express themselves however they want. Yeah, just let them be who they are. You know, don't judge them. Don't, you know, criticize every little thing that they do. Like, just allow them to be who they are. Let them have fun. Let them, you know, if they want to just dance, if they just want to sing, let them. Leave them alone. You know, like, let them express themselves. And it's funny because I just had this conversation with my mom, I want to say like 2-3 days ago, and I was telling her, like, after my last relationship, it took me a very long time to find myself. And it's like, yeah, I talk to people, but it's complicated. Let me just put it that way. It's complicated. But you know, like, I've talked to people, and sometimes they didn't allow me to express myself the way that I wanted to express myself. You know, it was always like being judged, or, you know, oh, you're not doing this right, why don't you do this and do that, you know, like, and I don't want to be told how to be me. And so yeah, so like, I was just telling my mom, like, I love the fact that, like, right now, because I'm not in a relationship with a person who is judging me constantly, like, I love it. Like, I can be myself, you know. If you know me, you know I love to dance. I hear music and I start to dance. Freaking happy feet over here, you know. But yeah, like, if I was in my last relationship, like, I would have been judged completely. Like, why are you doing that? Like, can you stop? Like, you know, embarrassed. And yeah, you don't want to be with the person who doesn't allow you to be yourself. So let's just leave that as that. Good communication, yes, but let me just say, you can have good communication, but is your partner really understanding you? Is your partner getting where you're coming from? So with good communication, you have to have comprehension. Just saying. A lot of people can say, yeah, I understand, but they don't really understand. So just make sure you have those two things. Understanding, yes. Freedom, yes. Okay, so I'm gonna give you the tea. Look, I'm just gonna go back and forth with my life and the subject that we're on. So, freedom. My last relationship, my last person that I dated would probably disagree, but I think I took a lot of time to fix the things that I felt were not okay. So I'm the type of person who, once I'm in a relationship, like, I want my partner to do everything with me. And, you know, I had to learn that we are our own person. So we cannot depend on people to always do things with us. And so sometimes it's good to give your partner freedom, allow them to explore the world, allow them to find the things that they love and don't love, and just give them that freedom to find themselves. My last relationship, for 2.5 years, we kind of like did everything together, literally everything together. Like, we even shared meals. Like, we did everything together. And so as she started working and stuff, like, it kind of got harder for me to accept the fact that now she's making new friends, and now she's gonna have a life without me. And I kind of started being dependent on my partner to always be there with me, that like it made me uncomfortable to give her freedom. But now having to work on the stuff that I needed to work on, I realized, like, our partners are not they're not our property. Let's just say that. We do not own our partners. Our partners should and are allowed to have a life outside of our relationship. And I'm not saying like go and cheat on your partner. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, if you want to go out with your friends, go ahead, go out with your friends. Just check in, like, every hour, every half hour, like, hey, just letting you know I'm still out with my friends, just to give them that little security. And yeah, so I agree. Allow your partner to have freedom to do the things that they want to do. And another thing is, what if they find a hobby that you don't like to do? Do you expect them to just not like that hobby because you don't like it? Like, no, let them be their own person. Support. Let me just say, I just had this conversation with a person that I'm involved with. Support. In my last relationship, it was a tough one. I don't feel like I was supported at all. Not in a financial or emotional sense, but more of like the things that I wanted to do. Like, she basically wanted to support from a distance. I feel like if your partner wants to start her own business, or if your partner wants to set up events to do good things for like communities and stuff, like, I feel like as a partner you should always support your partner, promote their work, promote what they're doing, help them out, help them get the word out to do things in a bigger sense, and I actually really just had this conversation, I'm not gonna lie, with my person, and I'll just say that I was very impressed with her response. Respect, yes, respect your partner. Friendship, yes, your person should always be your homie, no matter what. and acceptance. Accept your partner for who they are and do not try to change them. Another one that I got was one where you can trust them and have nothing to worry about. I'm sorry. One where you don't have 1,000 emotions or second guesses running through your head wondering what they're doing, and where you can talk and be honest and express how you're feeling. Yes, that especially, like, you should be able to express how you're feeling and not be put down for feeling the way that you feel. So I agree with that. Being honest. Yes, be honest at all times. I don't care if it's gonna hurt my feelings. Be honest with me. If you don't want to be with me no more, just say that. If you don't want to mess with me no more, just say it. You know, like, be honest. Because let me tell you, I'm gonna find out. And I say this all the time. Don't lie to me, because I will find out. I'm a good FBI. I'm just kidding. Let's see. One that's loving and caring and that makes you happy. Yes. You always want to care for your partner. And yeah, so let me just say that your girl was in a situationship. And I laugh now, but because it's just, you know, a couple months ago, I got myself into a situationship, and this person, see, this is the thing about me, like, when I'm like head over heels with somebody, I be bragging, and I had to learn to not brag about my situation now. It's not really a situation, because, you know, we good over here, but I had to learn to kind of keep her away from everybody else and not brag so much about her as much as I want to. But you know, yeah, so kind of got myself into a situationship a couple months ago, and this person I thought was the greatest thing in the world. I'm about to spill some tea on myself, because I be ranting on Snapchat, and it just be stressing me out. So anyways, yeah, so I got myself into a situationship. This person made me think that they were the greatest person in the entire world. Okay, and here I am. We were good for like a month or two. We were always seeing each other every day. Well, not every day, but like every other day kind of. And this person would come over, and you know, we would spend some time with each other, and you know, I thought things were great. And then everything just like switched up. So I'm a very understanding person, and you know, when you have a lot of things going on, I understand when you're busy. So, you know, this person was in school, they had a kid, and, you know, I kind of just, you know, accepted it for what it was. I'm not trying to be stepmom or anything like that. But yeah, so I understood that they had a lot of responsibility, and I never made it a thing to where I was like, you don't spend time with me, you don't do it. No, there was nothing like that. When you have time for me is when you have time for me. I understand that you're a busy person, and it's okay. So then this person kind of like went ghost from one day to the next. So I was like, all right, like, this isn't cool. So when we first started talking, we talked about communicating with each other, because communication is a big thing. So I communicated to them how I felt and how, you know, I didn't appreciate not hearing from them, and, you know, just expressing my feelings. This person, oh yeah, I understand. Bruh, tell me why the next couple of days I didn't hear from this person again, thinking that they understood where I was coming from. Clearly not. So, a week later, I hear from them, and they're just like, oh, hey, just checking in, because you asked me to check in. Like, yeah, fool, I asked you to check in, like, the days after we communicated, not a whole week later. Like, ugh. So, I mean, that's what it was. And at that point, like, I just kind of just stop having the same feelings that I had for them. And, yeah, so that was that. And I didn't hear from them again for like another week or two, and they called, and they were just like, oh, hey, I just wanted to see how you were. I miss you. I'm sorry, but if you really miss a person, like, you go and call them every day. You're gonna make an effort to talk to them every day. Like, you just don't stop talking to a person for like 2 weeks, So that was that. And I started getting frustrated because, the person in my life now, we talk every day, and it's the most amazing conversations. And, I don't have to, so I don't have to worry, but the other person that I had a situationship ended up seeing, and all of a sudden wanted to come back into my life. And it's like, no, bro, like, you saw how great it was now, and now you're just trying to weasel your way back in. And I'm the type of person who, I will go out and I will get you lunch, get you dinner, check to see if you've eaten. I'm the type of person who just loves to do things for my partners, And yeah, and I feel like once you cross me, like, that's it. Like, you don't get the same crystal anymore. Like, that's just it, And I guess they started to realize, like, I wasn't asking for their effort anymore. And I wasn't, it was just, if I hear from you, I hear from you. If you're going to talk to me every 2 weeks or whatever it is, then I guess that's what it is. I'm not going to bug you or force you or beg you to make an effort. I had to do that with my last relationship, and I fail. Like, I don't fail, but I refuse. It's a better word. I refuse to do this with any of my future partners. I will no longer beg a person to make any type of effort with me. And yeah, so that was something that happened recently as well. In the past, like, 2 weeks, I think, or a week, that person reached out again. But yeah, I would say a good thing that's happened now in the, I don't even know what to call it, because right now we're just kind of filling each other out. It's not a situation, it's just, we're talking. We're in a talking stage. So I'm just getting to know this person more and more, and yeah, everything's going pretty great. And like, I dead ass be taking her for how she really is. Like, sometimes she's bipolar, sometimes she's aggressive. And I just be taking it in because, it's good to be accepted for who you are. And at least she's showing me now that she could be crazy sometimes. But yeah, it's a great great little thing going on. But yeah, so the second poll that I had going on, well, not so much a poll, but just a question, was what makes a bad relationship? And so let's start off by this one, because this is something I do not play around with. So, abuse: emotional, verbal, physically, and spiritual abuse. This is a trigger for me, a really big trigger for me. I've been in a relationship where I was physically abused. The person I was dating actually choked me twice, slapped me, and I was like tackled and everything. So I have been in a physically abusive relationship. Verbal and emotional abuse. I will say my last relationship was a big one, emotionally and verbally. I just think it's funny that she can laugh about it. That just shows how emotionally and verbally abusive she is, if she could laugh at it now. But yeah, so that was a big one. I just remember this one time, and I'll never forget this because it really damaged me. I was getting ready to go out, and she was going out, and she was just like, I don't know why you're getting ready, like, you're still ugly. And that stuck with me. 3 years of us not being together anymore, and it still sticks with me. And if she hears this, if she doesn't, I really don't care. But that literally damaged me as a person. And yeah, so that was intense. No boundaries. Ugh, yes. Changing the other person, or changing who you are for that person. Yes. Feel like you should never change yourself. If your partner does not accept you for who you are, then why are you guys together? Like, it's just gonna cause problems in the long run. I guarantee it. Unforgiving. If you cannot forgive your partner for whatever they did, then you just shouldn't be together, period. I'm sorry, but you shouldn't. Broken promises. Hating yourself because the other person is unhappy. Well, let me just start off by saying this. Oh shit, sorry. Let me just start off by saying this. You are not responsible to make your partner happy. Your partner has to learn to make themselves happy. I feel like people, once they get into a relationship, they become dependent on their partners. And if it's anything that I've learned in my past relationships, is not to be dependent on your partners. You are your own person. You need to do the things that make you happy, because you said it yourself. Like, you're hating yourself because your partner's not happy. You shouldn't be like that. Like, you both are not happy now, so what's the point? You guys have to be responsible for your own happiness. You can't be depending on other people. Let's see. Changing who you are. Oh, I said that one. No communication, constant lying, trust issues. Oh, Lord Jesus. Okay, so my ex are gonna hate me for this one. But okay, so I dated a person who constantly lied. If you know me, you know that I've dated guys back in the day. And yeah, so there's this guy that I was dating. We were both 16, I think. And he had a kid, and he was not from the valley. He was from Carson, but he had to come and live in the valley because he got in trouble in Carson. So his excuse for always going down, okay, it's not really an excuse, but he would go down to Carson on the weekends to see his son. And turns out that he was sleeping around with his baby mama. Well, I was, in the valley doing my own thing. And then he started living with me, and then I just started catching on to a lot of the things that he was doing. And so, yeah. Constant lying, trust issues, that's literally what makes a bad relationship. And yeah. So the third little poll that I had going on, not so much a poll, but just answering my questions. So the question is, like, how long do you stay in the talking stage before you make it official? I'm not asking for myself. It was just a question. And I actually liked the responses that I got. One person said for 90 days. 90 days you stay in the talking stage. I don't really know how I feel about the 90-day thing. Like, what if you pass the 90 days? What if you start dating before the 90 days? Like, does it have to be 90 days? So anyways, so the other one said, for as long as it takes for the both of you to agree, it's more than a talking stage. I agree. Actually, I'm a firm believer in the things that happen quick are the things that end quicker. So take your time, get to know your partner or the person that you're interested in. Learn them, because if you just throw yourself in a relationship, like, you're not going to be happy, because you're going to end up finding out that there's things that you don't like that the other person does, and now you're kind of stuck because you just started a relationship with somebody you didn't even know them. So yeah, when you guys are ready, y'all both have that conversation about if this is more than a talking stage, or what are we doing here. Just don't waste my time. That's all I ask. Don't waste my time. If you do not see a future with me, do not waste my time. Tell me straight up. And yeah. But yeah, those are the little things that I had going on for this podcast. So this was pretty interesting, guys, because I didn't think I would have to talk about a relationship or relationships, period. But yeah, I just gave you guys a little bit of tea in the situation that I'm in, and a lot of the stuff that I've been through. So this was a good little topic, some good little tea. But yeah, so I just decided to talk about relationships for this podcast because of the back and forth situationship that I was in. And it was like, it would be a good time to let my listeners in on what the hell goes on in my life and what I deal with, because let me tell you, every day I'm dealing with something. So that's what it is. Oh, and then I have another story time for you guys, because Lord, I don't even know. You know what, I'm just gonna tell you guys, because I was gonna save it for another tea time, but we're just gonna talk about it now. So last week was just a bad week for me, guys. I'm not even gonna lie. So last week me and my sister, we were doing Postmates, and I had put gas. And if you are from the San Fernando Valley, you probably know about the Costco on Paxton and San Fernando Road. So I went to go put gas at Costco, and so me and my sister are going down. We were headed to Popeyes, you know, because we were gonna get something to eat. And yeah, so we were going, and I was passing by one of the streets. Paxton, it's pitch black, so I mean, it's really hard to see anything going on over there. So I ended up crossing, and I ended up seeing like an accident had occurred, and I was like, oh shit. So I pulled over, and this officer, screaming his head off, was talking crap to me. And so I was just like, what the heck is going on? And so, like, he just made me feel really stupid. And, you know, he was just screaming, and and he was like, give me your license and your registration, and, you know, like, all this nonsense. I know it has nothing to do with today's topic, but there's a lot of tea just going on in my life. So, here we are. So yeah, so that happened, and then, we just, like, so I was like, okay, like, you don't need to scream at me, sir. So, yeah. So I was looking for my license and the registration. So I got my license out, and he's just screaming. And another officer came, and he was just like, are you guys okay? You know? And I was just like, I don't understand why this officer is screaming. Like, and he's like, you almost fucking killed me. But that's not true, because he was in the turning lane on the opposite side, and I was closer to the curb, so I don't understand how I almost killed him, but whatever. But yeah, so I'm explaining to the other officer, like, look, sir, like, I didn't see you guys. Well, obviously I did see a car, but it was in the turning lane, like if it was gonna make a left. So I was like, I didn't see the accident until I got closer. And I was like, and as I got closer, I pulled over to the side and stopped, and this officer just started screaming at me. And yeah, so then I was like, you guys don't have any cones out. You guys don't have any like of those flare thingies, like to be like, hey guys, like there's a accident right here. I was like, there's 5 cop cars here. None of you guys have your lights on to like notify other people that something's going on. I was like, you guys have a freaking meter maid Parker, you know, car like in the turning lane. It looks like you guys are gonna turn, not freaking block off the street. And so he's like, I understand where the confusion is. And then as me and this other officer are talking, 2 more cars come full speed, like to the end of the freaking accident. And the first cop who was screaming at me was like, oh my god, you know, like he was just being wild. And so like I was like telling the officer, I was like, look, do you not understand like how these people are confused right now? Like, you guys, it's taking you guys 20 minutes to put up a sign saying that there's a freaking accident. And yeah, so I started getting anxiety, and I started crying because just the first officer really pissed me off. So there was that, and it just kept screaming. And you know, I was just mad because it was either, you know, I stick up for myself and I start screaming back and then risk either freaking getting killed or getting arrested. And then my sister was with me, and then she started getting crazy. So then it just made everything worse. And the officer was like, I understand, like I need you to calm down, like I'm gonna let you go, but you know, you need to calm down. And I was just so upset because an officer shouldn't, you know, treat you the way that this officer treated me. And I was just so upset. And it's like we're supposed to, you know, trust these people. And it's like, for what? You know, look at the way you're disrespecting me, but you guys think you guys deserve respect right away. So yeah, that was another thing that happened to me last week, and it was very upsetting, like, to know these are the people we're hiring to protect our city or cities, and it's sad because I'm always one to be like, don't say fuck the cops, because that's the first person you guys call when you guys are in trouble, and they just went against me. So yeah, that was another hectic thing that happened this past week. So this concludes episode 4. I hope you guys enjoyed it. There will be, oh my goodness, I can't speak today. There will be more topics on my Instagram that I'll be asking people to vote on what they want to hear next. And yeah, just put your vote in, guys, and interact so that I know what you guys are looking for, and we can kind of like touch bases on it, and I can give you guys the material you guys are looking for. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys had an amazing Thanksgiving, and Christmas is coming up, so that's pretty exciting. I hope everyone has got their shopping done. And yeah, so I'll see you guys next week for episode 5. Have a good night, guys.